Welcome to the back pew. I saw a video over the last few days where a little girl received her very first pair of eyeglasses. This little girl whose vision was clouded and blurry suddenly could see her parents' faces. And her whole world seemed to open up in a new way. And now I've heard something similar from folks who have had cataracts removed. They talk about how suddenly they can see all new ways. In my parents' home, there was a needlework piece up on the wall that my grandmother had made. After my father had his cataracts removed, my father would just look at that, and he just was in awe of the beauty of the color and the distinctiveness in each and every part of that piece. It was as though he could see for the first time his world was transformed. That's what Jesus is getting at in a series of parables in the 13th chapter of Matthew. We hear these parables about the kingdom of heaven and what the kingdom of heaven is like. And what Jesus there describes is how the love of God transforms the world we live in. It's not in the sweet by and by. It's rather in the present world, that this world we see with new eyes and new possibilities. We see with hope and with love. We see a world that begins to be transformed right before us because of God. God's unconditional love and grace and forgiveness that transforms our hearts, that transforms how we look at the world. Cynthia Burgo writes, "The kingdom of heaven is a whole new way of looking and seeing the world, a transformed awareness that literally turns this world into a different place." That's what Jesus is getting at in the parables. Parable of a little seed, the little mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, he says, that grows into this tree that all the birds of the air are nesting in. That's pretty powerful. Or it's like a woman who has this little bit of yeast and mixes it with 3 measures, 3 ephahs, that comes out to be like 3 bushels of flour. And every bit of it is leavened. It mysteriously moves in and through and changes everything. That's what Jesus is getting at. That this love that we're given by God in Christ transforms everything. We are freed from fear, freed from guilt, freed from shame, freed from greed, freed from selfishness, to live openly into this world and to see it transformed. This is the stuff we're going to be talking about this week at First Lutheran Church Galveston. How is it that you're living into this kingdom of heaven that has come near? How are you seeing with the eyes of Christ the world transformed? How are you living it? Let's talk about it this week at First Lutheran. If the back pew has been helpful, I invite you to pass it along, galvestonbackpew.org, or through Facebook, or however you wish to share. I pray you have a blessed week as we have some warm temperatures, but cool air conditioning at the church. See you Sunday or Saturday at First Lutheran.